शुक्ला जयपुर वाया कोटा
कृपया ध्यान आपको अहमदाबाद
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत
लखनऊ जंक्शन
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವವರೆಗೆ
Hyderabad Superfast Express পরবর্তী স্টেশন নেতাজি ভবন कृपया ध्यान दियो
Sorry, I'm not ready yet. I'm just fixing the frame. We're friends, it's fine. Hasn't anyone just tucked in their shirt into their trousers just before going into a meeting? They've done it. Friends do that with each other. So we just have a look. That's all right. Good? Is that good? Is that all right?
Yeah, I mean...
Kinda? Sort of?
As good as
Whatever
it's gonna
you do,
get,
don't
yeah.
tuck in my shirt for me, okay?
No, you don't tuck in your friend's shirt.
This is what that sounded like.
No, you tuck in your own shirt.
I was not happy with that.
Dude. It's like, Pommie, take off my shirt. What? He's wearing my shirt. He is. Hello and welcome to Cricbuzz Live, a show that puts a shirt on our backs and yet we act this irresponsibly. That's the Peter Pan complex, I guess. I'm Gaurav Kapur, with me Pommie Mbangwa and Lisa Sthalekar. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, welcome.
Howdy.
Hello. I like that because Lisa and I were twinning yesterday, today we've gone to the opposite ends of the colour palette. It's just completely... You have merged into the chair.
I have. No, I've tried to just get a little bit different. And then I forgot that Rajasthan were playing today.
Oh.
Oopsie.
That's who you're supporting. And if we see Pommie's shirt, it's kind of DC kind of shirt, isn't
Yeah, a little bit.
it? It is.
Nah. No, it's not. It would never be.
You seem rather upset at that accusation.
It's a big accusation this season. Probably, and many other seasons. Hey, I'll have you know
Yeah.
that in their previous incarnation,
Yeah.
I quite liked their name, you know, so when it started out, I'd say, I want these lot to win.
The
you know.
daredevils.
Yes, I love them. I love them.
But sir, this is India. We can't have devil in our name.
Fair enough.
Okay, please.
Yeah.
Lisa, please.
They were daring enough in the first couple of seasons.
They were. I'll tell you what, in the last couple of games, well, most of them, forget the batting collapse in the previous game, but in the last few games, their batting has been quite daring, you'd have to say. They've won some as well. They've kind of come up on the points table. When you look at it, it's not looking that bad. Yes, of course, they've played the one game more, and today they are going to be playing their 12th game. So they are at 10 points. They can potentially get to 12. And if they get to 12, then again, they've got one game more than all their other buddies at 12. But yeah, some of them are playing each other. So they could actually grab on to someone there. But for Rajasthan, Lisa, they'll want to win this today because this is the first time after the previous game that the Knight Riders knocked them off their perch of top position. That's where they were for 5 weeks. And they could be feeling a little disturbed or displaced by that.
Maybe not disturbed, you're right. Maybe displaced. They want to finish... as a team, you always want to finish first past the post, and especially with the length and breadth that this tournament covers across India. It's a bit of a feather in your cap, to be honest, if you can accomplish that type of feat. And you look at even the losses that they've had, it's been the last over. So they haven't gone that badly at all to be even in second position.
Great point. That's a great point. They haven't had any collapse for me. None of those can be a completely written off day for them in 10 games.
Yeah, true. And I'd like to contrast that to last season, where out the blocks really quickly and then just fell off a cliff. And that was a problem. And when that happened this season as well, the get out the blocks really quickly, many would have been watching thinking, okay, we remember this happening. We'll catch up with you because we did last season because, imploded, whatever it was that happened just fell away drastically. And they've managed to maintain this season. And in fact, their campaign all the way through to the point where Sanju Samson is at a loss for words at the end of games.
I've noticed that when you've done
it. At the games where he's lost, he just doesn't know what's happened. He's like at a loss.
It's a new feeling.
I can't explain this, I don't understand how we've lost that because they've been going that well. And yeah, nicely rounded side as they were last season, but this season with different performers and the rest of it, that's ensured that they continue the winning streak.
I'll tell you, there's another trend that you notice, because what Pommie's just said about the Royals, Lisa, has also been true about Sanju Samson. Personally,
Yes.
starts every season big and then tails off, gets derailed. This year, him and his team both have not done that. So you can see and you can draw the parallel and you can see the connection there, I guess.
Yeah, there's probably been himself and Rian Parag kind of that have stepped up from last year, in the sense of if when things kind of derailed a little bit, more so Sanju Samson, because he was flying and he does tend to, I think the first game his record is out of this world. He almost averages over 50 or 60.
Yeah.
But one thing that Rajasthan seem to have done is they've kept a good core group of players, and you can see that there's a bigger goal that they're working towards. So yes, while they would have been disappointed last year, they still kept majority of the same players, the core group, the core playing 11 as well, to a certain degree. Add a little bit of this, add a little bit of that, and then all of a sudden you're starting to go in the right direction. And this season, things are tracking perfectly for them.
Whereas on the other side, the Delhi team has been just the opposite. They have been chopping and changing. They've lost a few players to injury as well. Of course, there was Harry Brook, the news of Harry Brook even before the season began. But that worked out well for them, because the replacement, Jake Frazier, a berserk, as Polly called him last night, has been doing that bit for them. Then they lost Mitchell Marsh. Then their bowlers have been kind of in and out. They've been chopping and changing. Kuldeep was missing for a few games. And today as well, they have got some changes. Well, Rajasthan has won the toss and put Delhi into bat. This game, of course, is happening at the Arun Jaitley Stadium, which is in New Delhi. Promises to have a lot of runs, but so did Wankhede yesterday, and then got all our guesses wrong. The stadium, not the person. It's, of course, named after Mr. Wankhede. He didn't do anything to us. But yeah, Delhi, we'll look at the Delhi team, because we were talking yesterday about would Shea Hope play, would David Warner play. They've got, we'll see it, they've got a new name there as well. What we've seen though with Rajasthan is fielding, they've got no Dhruv Jurel, because we saw that last game he was in a bit of trouble, right? He was in a bit of trouble. There was a hammy. We thought he may not come out and bat. I think we did see him late in the game.
Yeah. But
if that's a hammy, then Pommie, this could be possibly the first kind of speed bump for Rajasthan.
Yeah, little blip. And, in looking at Delhi and looking at other teams, I'll go to GT as a side, you go to Punjab Kings as a team with regard to injuries and the difficulty when your first team players, your first 11 players get injured, key players. It's difficult to just get your season going. However, when we talk about Rajasthan, the fact that they had a Nandre Berger when Sandeep Sharma is not going to play and he's come in and done really well, it just looks as if they have enough in terms of resource. Yeah. And also with that kind of spread of talent and player of the match performances, it's worked out really well. Last season, we described them as the most well-rounded side, where if you're talking bowling, it doesn't matter which of the 5 guys are in the first 11 you're talking about. They in themselves could be match winners, right? Each of them. And then with the batting, you're talking about Sanju Samson, Josh Butler, Jaiswal, Parag now steps up. So they're better placed to kind of cover for someone getting injured. And the hope would be that this doesn't derail them right at the back end of the tournament.
Well, Delhi is going to be batting first, and Delhi has had a lot of opening combinations, right? So they have done what we saw Knight Riders do last season. And this year, Gautam Gambhir kind of re-energizing Sunil Narayan and Phil Salt coming in place of Jason Roy. They haven't needed to do that. But Delhi this time has had to do that. So, lots of opening combinations. Of course, they lost Mitchell Marsh, and then David Warner was injured. He's not there. Porel has opened in one game. Prithvi Shaw has been in and out, both off the team and form-wise. So we figured Prithvi Shaw, who is one of the important players, because he was one of their retentions. And they obviously expect those blazing starts from him. That hasn't happened, so the heat's on him. So we thought that our coolest advice should be for him. So this is our coolest advice, powered by Crompton Air Coolers, #JaldiCooling. We spoke about Sanju Samson having kind of, being derailed or having a season of two halves. We spoke about Rohit Sharma last night having a season of two halves. Prithvi Shaw has had a season of two halves as well. When you see these numbers, you go, what's happening in the first 4 games as what's happened in the last 4 games. It wasn't really a bullet train, Lisa, to start with, but it was chugging along at a good pace. You'll take 160 and a 37 average, but you won't take what's in the next 4 games. He's better than that.
No, it was almost like, it's a little bit like, Punjab actually put Chris Gale, he didn't play for the first few games. It's like you just kind of, let the fire stoke underneath him and then let him go, wind him up and off he goes. I felt a little bit like Prithvi Shaw was kind of going through that at the start, and then he started to do well. And then I think probably similar issues that he's faced throughout his IPL history kind of keep coming back to the fore.
I think there's a difficulty. It's tough on these guys, actually, as I think about it. Like, to be consistently belligerent, right?
I like that term.
I think it's so difficult. And so the guys who have managed that, so your Sunil Narayan, your Phil Salt, Travis Head,
Fraser
Berserk, but sample size a little smaller because he hasn't played all the games. And the other guys have, over the course of the season, managed to be striking close to 200 and just absolutely smashing everybody and being successful with it. I think that's so difficult. Like, and you commend them. You commend them for being able to do it. But look at all the teams and try and figure out, okay, which of the opening batters are consistent in, David Warner, for the longest time, that's why he's an IPL legend, was able to, at the top of the order, just keep smashing everybody. Season after season after season. He'd be the one who would make sure that his side got a score. And because we compare people to their best self, what we want from them, when they don't quite give you that, you lose patience with them. So Prithvi Shaw, we know him for a 40 from 15 balls guy. He can do that. Nobody's expecting him to bat and get 100, but figure out a way which you can consistently give us 40 from 15. And I think that might have changed this season. It might be 40 from less, because this is happening, right?
Yep.
But I feel for them a little bit when it doesn't come off, because he's still got to come out and play as if he's done it in the previous game. He's got to just come out and do it again and again. It doesn't help him to come, and it certainly doesn't help the team for him to come out and go that bit slower, because then you lose the game in the end. And so, well done, you got 40 of 20, but we lost.
I love what you're saying. You have to be consistently belligerent. And the way that the milestones are being breached and broken, 125 in a power play, who would have ever thought that? Like 90, 95 was unheard of, now 125. So I guess that's our openers. They have to maximize this power play, and they have to do it, especially given the conditions now and these flat batting surfaces. They'll have to do that. We've got some winners as well who've sent in some advice. Let's have a look at what those are. These have come in on social media from Mukesh Kumar, not the player. This is my coolest advice. Delhi needs to make changes. You can go with Yash Dhul instead of Abhishek Porel. Rishabh Pant should come up in the batting order. We just haven't seen Yash Dhul. Expected a lot from him. Couple of seasons, but can't do it from the dugout. Our next one is from Manal Teswari. Delhi should bring back Ishant as he's fit now. His experience will help a lot. Also, Warner should open as well to give the explosive start. Pant should come in ahead of Porel. Such changes will ensure Delhi a win. Well, that's what happens. There's so much chopping and changing. There's so much happening with the batting order. They don't seem to be getting it right. So let's see if any of this advice is adhered to. That's it. Those are winners. That's it. Yeah. That's 2. All right. So they get, congratulations. So you get goodies and vouchers, goodie bags from Crompton Air Coolers. And you can send in your advice as well. The coolest advice powered by Crompton Air Coolers. #Jaldi Cooling. Let's have a look at the teams now. Delhi, of course, is going to be batting first. Let's see if they have got patience with Prithvi Shaw, or has it run out? Well, it has run out. Yes, their patience has run out. This, of course, is their batting 11, so he's not coming in as an impact sub. They've got a lot of changes in their bowling. It looks like they will go with Abhishek Porel and Jake Fraser-McGurk. They've done that before. Shea Hope at 3. He showed us some fireworks. So still no David Warner. Rishabh Pant, there's Akshar Patel, Tristan Stubbs, Kuldeep Yadav. Gulbadin Naib comes into the team. So yet another Afghan player that we're seeing in the IPL. Khalil Ahmed. Ishant Sharma's back in the team. So that's a little bit of advice taken from our coolest advice. And Mukesh Kumar, who actually sent in some coolest advice a little earlier. Merging the segments now.
Sending some coolest advice, play me.
How about me?
Nice.
All right, well, that's their team. Let's quickly have a look at the Rajasthan team as well, because they've got a couple of changes. This is their bowling 11. So they've got Shubham Dubey who comes in, so no Dhruv Jurel. And they've got Donovan Ferreira who's coming for Shimron Hetmyer. I don't know what news there is. If you can, we can have a look on the Cricbuzz app and see if the captain has said anything. Sanju has said they're unavailable. That's all he said. That Dhruv and Hetmyer are unavailable. So I guess that would mean with Dhruv we know because we saw the injury. I guess with Shimron perhaps could be that as well. So yeah,
another niggle.
Yeah, or ill, or any number of things. Yeah.
Could be something. They are in Delhi, so it could be a Delhi belly. They have been in Delhi for the last 4 days. So, yeah, they've been there. But, that's their bowling core effectively remains unaffected. And we'll have a look at their team again when you see their bowling. Of course, there's Yuzi Chahal now also going for the World Cup. There's Ravichandran Ashwin with that. There is Trent Boult. There you go. Avesh Khan, Sandeep Sharma. So their bowling effectively remains unchanged, so that's good, and they will be bowling first. But when we look at that Delhi batting, again, Lisa, we're seeing, there's just so much happening at the top of the order. So now it's going to be Jake Fraser-McGurk and in all possibility, Abhishek Porel. But you never know, Shea Hope could open as well. We know he's done it for the West Indies in the past.
Yeah, I'd be a bit disappointed if they went with Shea Hope. I mean, how many changes do you need to make at the top? Like, just give some of the players a bit of an opportunity to kind of set. And so I think the most important thing for Delhi is that, they'll want to be able to really keep Rajasthan down to a modest total. They know that this pitch, Rajasthan's batting?
They're bowling, yeah. Delhi's batting.
Delhi batting.
Oh, Delhi batting. Sorry.
They're looking to smash it.
I'm getting confused. They'll want to go hard. And I actually found the toss fascinating because the last three occasions this year, the team batting first has actually won the game.
Yeah.
So you're almost giving licence. And we were talking about Sunrisers, weren't we, yesterday with Mumbai, getting them to bat first, which is something they like to do. So I'll be fascinated to see how it goes.
Worked out for Mumbai, though, yesterday. The decision worked out for them. We were all surprised when they put Hyderabad into bat. It's almost like, you're letting somebody up with like 10 plates into a buffet and you're like, you might not have anything left to eat. But their bowlers did well, so that worked out. Again, for Rajasthan, remember, there was a chase a couple of days ago for them where they needed 2 of the last ball. They didn't convert it. Maybe that's what they're looking at. Or they're saying, we back our batting and no matter what Delhi gets, we know that we can get this done. As far as their opening is concerned, they have used a lot of openers. The match previous to the last one, so 2 games ago, is when they went with Porel and with Jake Fraser-McGurk. Would you do that again? You give Porel another chance? Because he looked a little lost, but that was just the one opportunity.
Yeah, it's when you're chopping and changing, and we're not talking middle of a season, we're talking towards the end of a season. You can't dwell on stuff. So if you think, oof, error there, change it, move along.
Okay.
You're already in that cycle anyway. And what you don't want is regretting, making that decision. So having gone with him and decided that we think that he can do this and then seeing that he didn't quite do it right, move along, because there are others in the queue who may take their opportunity first up. You spoke of Shea Hope opening for the West Indies and generally batting up at the top these days. wonderful one-day cricket player who couldn't quite translate that to the other two formats and has subsequently gone and worked on his game to be able to play this 2020 format, and in CPL, for instance, has done brilliantly in upping that strike rate. So will not be afraid to take it on up at the top. And the game says this season, you absolutely have to do that. So he has international experience. He'll have faced whatever bowlers come at him. If you're looking for somebody who is going to try and kind of move things along in the way you want to shift from, it's a hard act to follow, Pant and Warner, right? This is what you're trying to replace. You're trying to replicate the best of them with new players, right? And I think they might well go McGurk and Shea Hope and say, get us started, and perhaps you can be our partnership as we go along forward.
It's interesting because Abhishek Parel, he scored 36 off 27 in the game that he opened.
Yeah.
He might be slow to a certain extent.
Just this season.
This season it is in a power play. When you're opening in a power play, the 36 of 27, and that also, I think he was going at a run just a smidge over a runner ball in the power play.
Yeah,
it was only because JFM on the other side was going nuts, so that it kind of got covered.
Yeah,
but you want to give him another game because the guy has been batting at number 6. You're backing him.
Correct. I feel, and I actually prefer probably Shea more. That 3 position.
As long as you're not second guessing yourself, and this is my point, that you're not going, let's see I'm not so sure, but let's see. Nah, you don't want to regret that decision.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And a good start is imperative, actually, because you put whoever it is under pressure. So if you can put this bowling attack under pressure, then you have your best chance. But if you don't put them under pressure, they'll run all over you, as they've done through
the season,
because they're experienced campaigners, all of them.
And Jake Fraser McGurk. So today he's got a proper challenge because this is a well-oiled bowling unit. Really is. You saw, just game after game, they're getting that job done. They are, 8 wins out of 10 games. So obviously it's the bowlers who are just doing such a good job. And today Jake Fraser McGurk will have, he's got his task cut out because he only knows one way to bat. And we love that way. It is super entertaining. The fans love it as well. And today they've got some good pace. They've got I call him the safe breaker, like he breaks safes open, Trent Boult, because he'll go in the first over and he'll just break it for, his team, for his captain. So it'll be interesting to watch that today because Trent Boult likes to get wickets in the first over. Jake Fraser McGurk likes to hit a few runs first over, and they've got some good spin that could come at him in the power play as well.
Yeah, I think watching the last time that DC played the game, it was against KKR. Both the openers, Stark and I can't think of the other.
Harshit? Vaibhav?
No, yeah.
Vaibhav.
Yeah.
Arora.
So they both went to death bowling straight away with him. They just tried to slide the ball right Yorker length. So, and, for Trent Boult, we know what he does. He's able to swing the ball nicely as well. So if he can slightly get it to shape back in and take his front pad off. But I think they'll try and slide under because if they bowl that little bit back of a length, everything is going because he plays pace really well.
Yeah.
He strikes both pace and spin this tournament exceptionally well, over 200 for both. Yeah. And who cares about the average, but the strike rate's impressive as well.
Yeah. It's, 217 and 270, yes. They both obviously look distinctly different. But if you're going over 200 in each, that means you pretty much are not discriminating.
Fair share to everybody. And it's watching him. You sort of watch and you think, okay, where to bolt him? I think that's good ploy that they go really full at him early doors, because when it's bowled on what is a good length, he actually plays sort of baseball. He stands there and he's not one of those who sort of goes from here and it's a straight bat trying to hit you through the line that way. It's a flat bat.
Yeah.
So, and I think that is to combat the length. It's not so easy for him to go this way and get over the bounce of it to get it over the top. So he can go this way. And that allows him to go straight, and it allows him to go this way if necessary, and if there's a bit of width, he can go that way as well. So the fuller, the better, to try and get him to play with a straighter bat, to try and then use his power from there. So, and many a bowler would have been watching. Yeah, you know, you get a couple of goals where people don't have a clue what you're doing, and they'll try this, they'll try that, but they'll have studied him. All these, Boult will have had a look, the spinners will have had a look, Nandri Berger, whoever, they'll have sat, Sandeep Sharma, sat in the meeting to say, how do we go at this guy? How do we get him out? And I think Fuller is going to be important. Fuller, those who have the pace will also try and test upstairs, although I don't think that's where you'd go first. Him being from Australia, him ready for short stuff. He wants you to try and guard his helmet so he can try and whack.
I'm sure that he was ready for the World Cup. You know, in India, we're obsessed with World Cups. Anybody plays 2 good knocks, he should go to the World Cup. Like 100 people will play. So obviously there was a lot of talk that JFM should go to the World Cup. I don't know if there was that much talk in Australia about it, but India, everyone, what? He's not in the World Cup squad? Like, Australia's World Cup squad was pretty set anyway. But it's not like he's too troubled about it. Obviously,
he said in a podcast that he had no expectation, and he's thankful for his opportunities here in the IPL because he wasn't first brought up, you know, so he's come in as a replacement player, and it's because of probably his performance back home in the Big Bash for Melbourne Renegades. Did really well, got a chance with the ILT20, 3 games, did well there, and it was with the Delhi side, and then that's how the connection happened. And there's something about young Australian cricketers, if their goal is purely baggy green and he plays Sheffield Shield or first-class cricket for South Australia, you know you have to walk a certain path. And he's not going to try and skip.
There's no fast track.
No, there is no. So he knows that he's thankful. He's a very lovely guy, a humble guy, given kind of a bit of the rock star that he carries with him because he's young and he's got a funky hairdo. Like the young kids, the young kids love him. Like they are cheering out Rooster. They call him Rooster back home. For all sorts of reasons, right? Give me your cap, give me your bat. They don't care about Sean Marsh or Aaron Finch, who was retiring from the Renegades. It was this guy. But he is really humble, nice, and I think he's a good guy that sees the long-term plan.
I hope we haven't jinxed him. We've spoken about him so much. I hope we haven't given him a first baller today.
So are you one of those who also believes that if you talk about these blokes, it actually does that?
You know, I spent too much time with Harsha Bhogle. That's what's happened. He has made me a believer in the whole jinx business.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
It's an amazing power we have in these red chairs.
The red chairs are jinx chairs. But I just want to quickly talk about Sandeep Sharma because they're bowling first and how fantastic he's been. He missed, 4 or 5 games in the middle? 5 games is what he missed. Comes back in and again, you know, we spoke about Piyush Chawla yesterday. You know, just keeps going on. Talking about Sandeep Sharma. You remembering Sandeep Sharma's battles with, you know who his bunny was, right? It was Chris Gale was his bunny for the longest time, Punjab v Bangalore when they used to play. And he's still doing it. And how's he been across phases, right? Because there was earlier used to be Sandeep Sharma, you bowl him up front. You know,
all
like
4
Bhuvi.
sometimes.
Yeah, all 4, bit like Bhuvi, but like Deepak Chahar. Bhuvi's coming and giving you stuff in the end as well. Sandeep Sharma, well, he'll be happy with that. He's got 5 wickets down at the end as well.
Yeah, and it's a story of upskilling, isn't it? And the game requires that whether you're batter or bowler, that you try and stay ahead. Sometimes it's to catch up, but more often than not, if you stay ahead, then you're going to be one of those who are successful. And for him, like you rightly speak of, in-swingers to right-handers and out-swingers to lefties early on, that's when he first began. And then as time went along, he started to do the other one, right? And still at that stage, it was only right up at the front that he'd bowl. So he'd swing it and you'd bowl him early on, and you might finish the rest of his overs before you get to over number 16 if he didn't bowl all 4 up at the front. And he was good for it because he'd get you a couple of wickets, he'd get you 1, he'd be economical, and has been all the way through his IPL career. Then as time has gone on, he then worked out, okay, I need to be able to bowl at the back end as well. And has gone to go and work on that. And that's been a tough road for him,
Yeah.
as you'd expect, because that's a difficult time. If wickets are in hand, they'll smash it, it'll go to all parts, and the general economy is not very economical for anybody at the back end as teams try to finish off. But he seems to have got a handle on that and has been pretty good this season. And this season, going under 10s in a season that's going generally across the whole game at 10s means, you know, you're way below, because the back end of the game is going more towards 15 than it is going towards 10.
Yeah.
So to be under 10 is absolutely fantastic. But throw the cherry on top. Doesn't matter now when you bowl him. You bowl him in the middle, he is also able to keep things quiet or to take wickets, because he possesses some cutters and changes as well that make things difficult for batters. So, yeah, I love how he's gone in upskilling himself and being better in all the phases of the game, so that he can always contribute whenever and wherever the captain calls on his service.
Just quickly, I get a sense that the older you get, the bowlers are adapting really well. From a batting point of view, youngsters, young punks come into the game, bit of fearlessness.
Yeah.
Who are these people? I don't really care who they are. Yeah. But the older you get a little bit more wiser, and maybe you respect the opposition a bit more, and history kind of comes in. But I find like the bowlers seem to find a few more tricks at the older they get.
Such a good point. I love that point. It's the experience. You've got to basically outthink. So the bowlers, as they get older, it's better to outthink. Whereas as a batter, you've got to be kind of brave. Hand-eye coordination has to be quicker. So yeah, that's why. We need to deep dive into that stat. We'll back it up with some numbers. That's a pretty good observation. All right. For those of you who can, have good observation, have good memory, have good cryptic clue-solving skills, we have the Joy Factor question for you. And let's see if you can decode the one that the professor has sent it today. This cricketer made his debut under Richie Richardson and played his last ODI 16 years later under John Davison. He also dismissed an Indian captain on that cricketer's debut. Identify him.
So he played for Canada at the end.
Yeah. And under Richie Richardson, would that be a county game then? Because this is not...
No. It said...
Was it international?
Just debut. It just said debut.
It did say debut, but I reckon that would be...
Oh, Joy, come on, special...
I reckon that would be an international
specific.
debut.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see.
I do.
Let us see. Send in your answers. #Joy Factor. We're waiting for them. Delhi batting first, of course, have been put in by Rajasthan. We showed you the teams. Let's show you the impact subs as well and see who they could get in later. Delhi will be looking to get in a bowler. By the looks of it, could be Rafiq Salam. He has done decently for them in the limited opportunities that he's had. So could be him. We'll have a look at the Rajasthan as well, the Rajasthan impact subs. You've got Joss Buttler, so that's pretty clear up there that they'll get him in. TKC, we spoke about him yesterday, but I guess they'll want to wait till they qualify before. And when negotiations hit a dead end, is Joss Buttler going to be there for finals week or not? We're not sure as yet. The BCCI is speaking to the ACB. They never tell me what they're talking about, but as soon as I know the result of it, I shall let you know. Right now, our guessing game, very important. I spoke about Rajasthan not being on top of the charts and how they might be disturbed about it, because I'd be very disturbed if I fell off the top of this chart. I've spent 5 weeks, much like the Royals, on top of it. So, I'll let you guys start.
197.
197 of the gentleman in the dark blue shirt.
I was actually going to go 198.
Oh!
But I'm not going to go 198.
Camouflage lady going with 198.
Hello, pick me. Can you see me? Okay, so I'm going to lowball it. I'm going to go 187.
187, I'm going 209, 209 for me. 209. That's our guesses. That's it. We're done. It's time for us to go. We'll see you at the end of the 10th over with Cricbuzz Combox, a little update on the Delhi batting effort. You were watching Cricbuzz Live. Thank you. We'll see you in a bit. Bye-bye.
Jaipur via Kota.
कृपया ध्यान आपको अहमदाबाद
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत
Lucknow Junction.
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವರೆ
Hyderabad Superfast Express পরবর্তী স্টেশন নেতাজি ভবন। कृपया ध्यान दें